I'm Prabhav, and this is my contemporary poetry project. I've chosen to do this project about Mahtem Siferraw. She's a native of Ethiopia and Eritrea and currently lives in Los Angeles, Southern California. She attended an Italian school in Ethiopia where she learned about their culture, embracing poetry. She holds a poetry collection named Fuchsia, which received the Silverman First Book Prize for African Poets. She lived with her family and grew up in the capital city of Addis Ababa until she became a young adult. She moved around 2005 to California. When she moved there, she found the culture to be very intriguing. Thus, she started to write poems. Here's one of her poems called We Made of Bone. Here's my analysis on it. The first annotation is personification because those trees can't actually save her. And this is personification because she's giving human characteristics to a tree. The second one is a paradox because you can't save someone if you're hiding. This is because this phrase is contradicting itself. The third one is also personification because baobab trees can't actually split open at her command. The last one is a consonance because there is a repeating O. Here's another poem she wrote named Nomenclatures of Invisibility. And here's my analysis on it. The first annotation is in hyperbole because ancestors are not really made of water. The second one is a paradox because if you lose someone, you would normally grieve. The third one is a consonance because the letter E is appearing multiple times. The fourth one is a parallel structure because the word the is repeated for each line. The fifth one is in hyperbole because fear cannot actually be lodged within the bones. The sixth annotation is an illusion because it is referring to something that is in the past. The seventh one is a hyperbole because she is exaggerating that they are told to set ourselves ablaze. The last one, the ninth one, is an imagery because the words such as burning, swollen, bleeding, and purple create an image. I chose this poem because of the words she used, which created a meaningful tone, ideal for the visual part of this project. I chose the poem Beginnings. For example, the words that contributed to the tone are copious, sprawled, murmur, solitude, unforgiving, striking, ripe, and more. The tone of this poem is violent and intense because she is describing hard and dark times.
Hi, this is Mahtem, and I'll be reading the poem Beginnings. This is not how it begins, but how you understand it. I walk many kilometers and find myself to be the same moon hovering over the same bleached sky. And when the officer calls me, it is a name I do not recognize, a self I do not recognize. We are asked to kneel or stand still, depending on which land we embroider our feet with. This one is copious with black blood, or so I am told. Someone calls me by the skin I did not know I had, and to this I think, language. There must be a language that contains us all, that contains all of this. How to disassemble the sorrow of beginnings, how to let go and not, how to crouch beneath other bodies, how to start breathing, how not to. Our fathers are not elders here. They are long-bearded men shoving taxicabs and sprawled in small valet parking lots. At their sight, my body dims its light, a desiccated grape, and murmur, Xavier ist Elin. Our pride, raw purple again. We begin like this, all of us walking in solitude, walking a desert earth and unforgiving bodies. We cross lines we dare not speak of. We learned and unlearned things quickly or intentionally slow, because that we can control, and give ourselves new names, because these selves must be new to forget the old blue. But sometimes we also begin like this, on a cold, cold night, memorizing escape routes, kissing the foreheads of small children, hiding akat in our pockets, a rosary for safekeeping. Or married off to men 30 years our elders, big house, big job, big striking hands. Or thinking of the mouth to feed. At times, we begin in silence. Water making its way into our bodies, rain or tears or black and red seas, until we are ripe with longing.
Here's what I like about her. I like that her goal seems to be to bring attention, to address her opinion. In this case, she used her interest in poetry to show it. I like her simplicity and shortness in her poems. She's concise, yet detailed in her message to the reader. I also like how unique her background life is and the way she had decided to use poetry to express them. Here's her goal. When she moved to California, she found the culture to be intriguing and different. All of her poems are based upon either her experience or the way she looks at the world. Her interest in poetry allowed her to express herself and write numerous poems and books. The poem We Made of Bone brings attention to societal changes. The poem Nomenclatures of Invisibility is about her immigration to California, filled with deep feelings and emotions. Here are some links to information about her. The first one goes to her personal website where she updates what she has written and her goals. The second is an article about her immigration experience. The third is a link to poets.org, which has all three poems I've done this project on and a description of her. Here is a link to her Instagram, which has almost 350 followers, and also here's a link to her YouTube video where she talks about and reads one of her poems named Origins and Intersections. That's the end. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.